Sylvio, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for participating in our Broadsign content studio. There's lots of exciting things happening in the world of out-of-home, one of them being automation. I would love to hear from your perspective, running a Canadian media network. How do you see automation changing the way buyers perceive and engage with the medium?
I think that the aspect of automation is extremely important, especially where we're heading as an entire organization, not from a vendor perspective, but as an out-of-home industry. It is critical for us because the thing we're sort of looking to model, if I can describe it that way, is really the online world. And if the online world operates very differently from us, and if that is the gold star that we're trying to look to achieve, we have to sort of shift into that direction as an entire industry.
And because digital channels are becoming more efficient and easier to buy, what do you feel is at risk if out-of-home doesn't catch up, or how do we risk failing behind?
I don't think there is an option here. I don't think it's like you can't sit there and say, well, we can't do it. I think what we have to do is find ways to sort of how our channel fits in conjunction and complements what we're doing with the online world. And I think there's a lot of things that as an entire industry that we are moving towards. And automation obviously is the key part of it to sort of drive us to get to where we want to be. But it's not an option of should we not. We have to.
Absolutely.
We have to. And I think the biggest thing too, if I can add, is that you look at how things have changed in the last 5 years. And again, we refer back to the pandemic as a starting point. Media has changed fundamentally as an entire ecosystem. And you look at now who leads that group, and it is clearly the online world. And the group that follows it right after that is out of home. So if we're going to be the one that sort of goes with it, we have to make sure we model ourselves directly with what they're doing.
The need to automate is there, but that can't be solved by technology alone. So what kind of collaboration do you think is needed amongst the whole ecosystem? So from the media owners, the buyers, the ad tech players, how do we need to come together to advance the channel?
I think there's a fourth person. You didn't mention this equation. I'm going to bring it up because it's important. And that fourth player is COM. And COM is the Industry Association for Out-of-Home that we all work with and work together. I think they've created a foundation now where all these groups come together, have discussions, looking to plan out our future. And I think it's very important because COM in that kind of modeling aspect is also introducing various elements, including reach and frequency modeling, that is going to be important for us to build out that applies to the automation aspect of things and starts educating people how we differentiate a little bit between out of home and the online world. So I think it's not anything more than everybody really having serious conversations saying, okay, we all believe in it. Out of home is never going to go away. It's always been part of the media system. How do we make it work going forward for everybody?
It's such a different channel. I mean, inventory is finite, it's bigger, it's bolder. How do you see that next stage? What would be an ideal world for you in terms of the industry working together?
Yeah, I think the two, and what I mentioned already is the reach and frequency aspect. So COM is introducing that as a model coming out to the entire industry, and there's going to be education behind that, because I think the biggest thing that differentiates us with online is that we're just not a reach vehicle. Yes, we offer that, but we are much more focused on a frequency. Think of your drive home. If I only hit you once every month, that's not much of a frequency. Are you going to get that message? So part of that modeling is saying, yes, reach is important, but we are different because we want frequency. And that's why a lot of the past historical modeling has been buy 4 weeks or buy long term and change your creative every month or so. The other aspect that is also very important is that we are essentially hyper-local. And that aspect, it is very important from a platform perspective, because each sign becomes its own little kind of unit and reaches its own community. And that hyper-local aspect is very different from, again, an online world, which it doesn't really occur. So we reach one to many, yes, but we're very centralized in who we reach and what is around us in terms of retail and other facilities and events that we're looking to attract. So it's a very different kind of model, but can work beautifully together.
And maybe let's end on a high note. What is something that's exciting you the most about where we're heading?
I think the exciting aspect is that where we've come from already and where we're going is an incredible pace. And from my perspective, what I've always talked about is that, as long as people are on Earth, and hopefully we stay on Earth, there will always be some form of outdoor advertising, whether it's indoor or outdoor. It will exist. The formats are going to get better. Yes, digital is a big part of what we're doing, but it will always exist. The question is exactly what we're talking about. How does it exist with the leading media right now? How do we complement it? And how do we continue to grow with it? And offer to advertisers true alternatives with measurement that they kind of go, yes, we buy into this and it supports what we're doing online. I think that's the key. So I'm excited because we are going to be a growth media, but it's not going to be easy. It's not just going to be because I said it. It's going to be because all of us work together, like you were describing, agencies, advertisers, programmatic platforms, and COM, to bring this all together and drive this media to immense growth. And it will happen. I'm confident of it.
Absolutely. We'll end on that high. Thank you so much. Thanks for participating.